Alright, now we're going to talk about Chapter 3. Section 3.1 is called Measures of Central Tendency. So if we look at our PowerPoint, the mean is also known as the average. It's found by adding the values of the data set, dividing by the total. The symbol for the sample mean is X bar, and it uses data gathered from a sample. The symbol for the population mean is mu, and uses data gathered from a population. When finding the mean of group data, midpoints are used. You can see that on page 113. Outliers are extreme values that are very high or low, and that affects the mean. There's your two formulas. The sigma just means to add them up, divide by the total number of values. The second measure of central tendency is called the median. That's the midpoint of the set of data. The symbol is MD. To find it, you put the data in order from least to greatest. You pick the middle number. The third measure of central tendency is the mode. That's what occurs the most. No mode is called unimodal. Two modes is bimodal. More than two is called multimodal. The fourth measure of central tendency is called the mid-range. It's an estimate of the middle. The symbol is MR, and it's found by adding the lowest and highest and dividing by 2. Frequency distributions can assume many shapes. This first one is left skewed. You can see the tail is over here on the left. The symmetric looks like a regular bell-shaped curve, and if it's right skewed, the tail is on the right. So you'll notice right here, if it's left skewed, the mean is less than the median is less than the mode, and you see the color coding going on. The mean, median, and mode are all equal if it's symmetric, and if it's right skewed, the mode is less than the median is less than the mean. Alright, let's do a couple of problems in the book. So let me go back right here. Okay, and the first problem I want us to do is number 1. So we're going to be on page 122, number 1. Alright, number 1 says, our salads a healthy menu choice? Listed below are the number of calories in selected entree salads at several popular restaurants. Find the mean, median, mode, and mid-range for the data. So just like I showed you in the calculator video, if you haven't watched that, you need to watch that first. You would hit data, enter all that data in L1. You would then hit second data, go down to number 2, which is called OneVerStats. Then you would find what you needed, but you won't see the mode and you won't see the mid-range. But you have the values for the mid-range on the calculator that you use in the formula. So if you punched in number 1 and you want to check yourself, the mean, if I round to the nearest tenth, is 994.6. The median is 940. The mode, you have to look and see which number occurs the most, and the mode is 1180. And lastly, to find the mid-range, the formula says you take the largest plus the smallest and divide by 2. So from the calculator, you can find the lowest or the highest plus the lowest and divide by 2, and that gives you a mid-range of 1092.5. Alright, let's jump down to number 13. Okay. Alright, number 13 is on page 124. It says a random sample of bonuses in millions of dollars paid by large companies to their executives is shown. Find the mean and modal class for the data. Alright, do you see you have a chart going on? What you're gonna need to do is find the midpoint of that class boundaries, okay? The frequency is gonna stay the same. So what I'll need to do with that first class boundary is I'll need to take from 0.5 to 3.5 and I'll need to average those. So I'm gonna add those up and divide by 2. That's gonna give me a midpoint of 2, okay? And the frequency stays the same. I'll go to the second part of my chart. I'll add 3.5 plus 6.5 divided by 2, that'll be 5. Okay, so 5 has a frequency of 12. I'll do the same thing. I'll get 8 and 4, 11 and 2, 14 and 1. Okay, we'll go to our calculator. We'll punch this in L1, this in L2. When you go to calculate, you'll choose frequency is L2. Punch in the data, it'll come up. It should tell you the mean is 5. And this also asks for the modal class, which that has the biggest frequency, which would be 12, but you have to go back and get what that interval was, which was 3.5 to 6.5. Okay? Alright, the last one we'll do from this section is we'll do number 23. Alright, that is on page 125. 23 says, find the weighted mean of 3 models of automobiles sold. The number and price of each are shown in the list. Okay? What we need to do is we need to take the number of model A, multiply it times its price, and this formula is in your book, plus I'll take the number of model B, multiply it by their price, plus the number of model C, multiply it times its price, okay, and we'll divide by the total number of cars, which is 30. And if you put that in, the mean, which is X bar, is $9,866.67. Okay, that should do it for section 3.1.